Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
Welcome to This Day in Sports History. It's December 28th, and on this day, a spectacular play came to be part of our language. Now, you've heard of a long shot, low percentage desperation pass at the end of a football game referenced as a Hail Mary, right? Well, it became part of common football vernacular on this day in 1975. In a divisional playoff game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings, the Vikings led 14-10 with 32 seconds to play and the ball at midfield. On a 2nd and 10, quarterback Roger Staubach, working from the shotgun formation, which was also popularized by the Cowboys, fired a ball downfield to Drew Pearson running to the end zone. The pass was a little short. Pearson made an adjustment on the ball, and whether he pushed defensive back Nate Wright in the process is still a sore spot for Minnesota fans. But Pearson trapped the ball with his right hand against his leg and slipped into the end zone for the touchdown. Minnesota's plea for a pass interference call went unheard, and the Cowboys led 17-14 after the point after. Now, this is a bit different than how we define a Hail Mary now. There were still 24 seconds on the clock, and Minnesota had 3 timeouts. But Fran Tarkenton couldn't lead the Vikings downfield to return the favor, and the Cowboys won the game to advance to the NFC Championship game. Talking about the dramatic play after the game, Pearson was quoted as saying the chances on a play like that are slim and none. Head coach Tom Landry said, "Our only hope was to throw it up there and hope for a miracle." It was Staubach, who was Catholic, who said, "It was a Hail Mary pass. I just threw it up there as far as I could." That name stuck and has become part of the football lexicon due to what happened on this day in 1975. A couple of interesting things. The more impressive play on the day was actually earlier in that drive, when the Cowboys converted a 4th and 17 with a Staubach to Pearson connection along the sidelines. If that doesn't happen, is Hail Mary even a term we use today? Possibly, but it may actually reference something entirely different, because the term Hail Mary was used much earlier to describe a different football play. In a 1922 collegiate game between Georgia Tech and Notre Dame, the Irish actually said a Hail Mary in the huddle prior to scoring a 6-yard touchdown run. Later, they did the same thing before scoring another 6-yard touchdown, to which a player said after the game, "That Hail Mary play is the best play we have." So a little better marketing back in the 20s, and Hail Mary may have become the term for a 6-yard touchdown run, rather than a desperation heave as time expires. Also on this day, in 1958, the so-called greatest game ever played, featuring the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants in the NFL championship game. It was the first championship game to go to sudden death overtime. The Colts won 23-17 as 45 million people watched it on their new televisions. An interesting fact about the broadcast, though, NBC lost the feed from the stadium in overtime. However, a supposed drunk fan wandering onto the field delayed the game long enough for NBC to reestablish connection and broadcast the dramatic ending for television viewers. It was later learned that the drunk fan was actually an NBC production assistant delaying the game intentionally. In 2008, the Detroit Lions lost 31-21 to the Green Bay Packers, becoming the first NFL team to finish winless in a 16-game season. That regrettable mark has since been equaled by the 2017 Cleveland Browns. And we remember the passing of former NFL coach, broadcaster, pitchman, and video game icon John Madden, who died on this day in 2021. That's it for today. Thanks for listening to this edition. If you have a moment, rate, review, and subscribe. It's the best way to help this podcast be seen by others and grow. Check out the show notes for other ways to help out if you would like. Have a great day, and I'll have more tomorrow on This Day in Sports History.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman. aka the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.